not to be impressed, but then again, I've expected not to be impressed with a lot of decks this week, and they've all performed better than I expected. But yeah, we're going to give it a try. And sorry I'm a little out of breath right now, so I'll be muting and stuff a lot. Just realized I'm also out of my drink. But we will have to endure. Thank you, Magic Online, for moving our thing. Seems to always have these problems on a patch day. I'm going to keep this. It's a pretty powerful hand, and we have these crash through times, which can just like cycle and maybe hit us on land. I don't know why I called it cash through time. It's just a crash through. Well, unfortunately, we didn't hit it in our first two draws, but we did hit one at least. So we're on turn 4 with 2 lands still. Our control opponent's got to go crazy. This game's pretty done. So if we hit a land every turn now, before that ultimate, I actually think we have a small chance. And we did not hit a land every turn, so that is it. Alright, so cards that would be good versus Esper. Probably want these things. Kind of want this, but then again, I kind of don't want it to get, just like negated or something either. How do we sideboard? I'm gonna save the Warlord's Fury this game because we actually have lands. Hope we don't get hit by too many discard spells. I wonder if we're supposed to take Gutter Snaps out because we saw Moment of Craving. I think we'll pass here and try to risk factor them. Maybe during their upkeep. I think I want to try to get some value out of this. Alright, well, we'll just do it now then. I don't want this to get spell pierced, like, or sorry, syncopated. It looks like we're going to try to find lands. There's a chance that I just used a risk factor here and discard the Gutter Snap. There's a good chance. I think it might be better than the Warlord's Fury. Or worse than the Warlord's Fury, I mean. Just don't want them gaining life at this point. Wouldn't be upset if they surveilled it and we got to jam this, but even jamming this isn't that great because they get to untap and do things. We're gonna look for a land. Didn't find our land. We might want a 22nd land in this deck. Just turn 5 to Fairy again, maybe? Yeah. It's gonna be hard for us to beat that without drawing like multiple more risk factors and or lands. Shock would be good, but we sideboarded a couple out. It probably wouldn't even be that good because they probably have Essence Scatter. That's the actual best card we can draw other than just lands. Because it breaks even with Moment of Craving and or Vraska's Contempt. Yeah, well, if we draw 3 lands before that ultimate, so we win. If not, we probably lose. Shouldn't have played that land. Playing that land wasn't smart. Because now if there's a land on top of our deck, we can't get it off. Luckily this card's useless. I don't really want to draw it either, though. Like, I can't play it if I draw it. Oh, and they have Invoked the Divine. Alright, well this game's just over then. We have to draw like exactly land into Banefire. And then that may not be enough because they could have like a Contempt for their own Teferi. We do have 4 Banefires though. Oh, it's another one of the worst cards in our deck. We knew what we were drawing, obviously, like we saw it with the experiment. But yeah, this game's over. Don't know why that's in their deck. I refuse to believe it should be, especially without Fatal pushing the format. Probably should have cast a Gutter Snap first. Alright, well, we lost very, very easily as we had no pressure. Couldn't get to any of our top end. We didn't draw any Phoenixes. Guess we could have kept playing to hope we like draw double risk factor, but they're going to have syncopates and everything at that point in the game. We wasn't 100% dead. We were just like 97 or some hypothetical random number that I'm making up. But I was uninterested in playing that game anymore. It wasn't fun, and I play Magic for fun. I apologize if you hear background noise at the moment. One of my friends is playing versus another streamer, so I was just pulling it up on the other computer. Should be muted now. If there's noise, please let me know. This hand seems better than anything we had in the first hands. My friend got wrecked, by the way. It's another blue deck. Ooh, it's that blue deck. Yeah, we're going to have problems with that blue deck for sure. We don't actually have a lot of burn spells in our deck. And a positive note is they don't have a great deal of interaction for the type of things we do either. Ooh, I don't like that. don't think that card's very good. Like, you don't have anything in your deck to gain an advantage of that deck, and when you, or with that card, and when you play that card, all you're doing is adding another card that dies the Goblin Chainwhirler to your deck. That spot should 100% be Night Veil Sprite, in my opinion. Like, I don't even see a reason for it to be that card. Like, that card is not a good Magic card. It was only good for a little while in exactly the blue-red GPG deck. And it wasn't even very good in that deck for long. Alright, well, we gotta start doing stuff now. They didn't have a Tempest Gen, so that's kind of good for us. Like, maybe we'll start being able to race a little bit. If they have a follow-up on this turn, we'll be in some serious trouble. If not, we should be fine, question mark. I think should be fine. Works. Well, 2-turn clock. If they have another creature here, though, okay, that one doesn't matter too much. They can counterspell this. I guess it does matter, because now it lets them counterspell this for free. Risk factor. We're probably dead here. I don't think we can win in 2 turns, not with the Siren Stormtamer in play, and whatever burn spell they happen to have in their hand. Also should have cast Risk Factor. I'm going to lose a point of damage now. That was pretty bad of me. Could draw 2 burn spells, I guess, and if they don't have a dive down, that'd be enough. Don't love Spell Pierce in that deck. It's not needed. Well, 2 burn spells. Didn't get there. We don't have a lot of burn spells in our deck, in fairness. Alright, opponent. You're being excessively slow, and I'm not sure why. Well, we did get to one of them. Double Shock would put them at 1. I mean, they have the counter spell, but... Yeah, don't like our opponent's cards. Our opponent took a reasonably good deck, didn't make it more budget, actually put extra rares in it, and made it considerably weaker, it looks like. I think Banefire's probably too slow, and Risk Factor's probably not what we want in a match like this. Maybe I want this too, but nah. Is First Strike or Trample better? Maybe I want the Lava Coils. They do have Tempest Gens. Tempest Gen could be a problem. I'm gonna bring this in too, I think. Got rid of 5 of our cantrips. I don't know if they're right, if any of that's right. No, I should probably just get rid of the tormented voices. Those getting counterspelled are just too annoying. Alright, I've decided. This is what we're going with. No more changes. No, it only had 21 lands. There's not even an extra land to sideboard, so I want to go with as few 4-drops as possible. And I want to go with slightly more resilient ones. Like, the Arclight to work with the Tormented Voices is the only reason they're in the deck. Experimental Frenzy, I don't know. This is a Raphael Levy deck. It's not my deck. I didn't build this deck. We're actually pretty thin on burn spells, so it'll be hard to deal with any of their creatures. Really wish I had a drink. We'll get a glass of milk if I lose this match quick. It's a keep. We have this thing. This thing has to be the best card in our deck. It's one of the problems, one of the reasons we've not done well so far. How is milk a bad choice? It's literally the only thing I have. Anything over nothing. I legitimately have nothing else in the house. I'm not drinking city water. I do have a sink. There's 0 chance I'm drinking city water. Tempest Gen, not a lot we can do about that one. I mean, we still attack pretty freely, but if he blocks, this thing dies. The city water is not very good anywhere, in my opinion, but I'm certainly not drinking it here. Like, maybe if I lived in a big city where they actually could afford real people and real stations to work on it, I would consider it, but not in the area I live. No way. That's a good card. That's going to cause some problems. It'll cause a lot less problems if he's attacking with this Tempest Gen, though. I'm pretty excited he's attacking with the Tempest Gen, I have to be honest. Hopefully we'll hit a good spell here. That qualifies as a good spell. So they go to 1, unless we hit. Alright, well. I guess they go to 2, technically. Wait, what? No. Wharf. Stop on my turn. I like how we got to ramp into this. How good is that? Oh, it does get to beat us next turn if we can't win this turn, though. Odds of us winning this turn seem really, really high. Unless they cast 47 spells. I don't even know if they cast 3 spells if it's enough. Hey Dumbo, what's up, man? Not saw you stream in a while. I've had a weird sleep schedule though, so I'm just not awake in the mornings very much right now. That could have some effect on it. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o. Well, you can't spell pierce this, and you're taking 6 damage, so I don't think you gaining 2 matters. This game was a lot closer than I expected it to be. Want to change anything from the play to the side? Not really. I still think Bangfire's too slow. Still don't really want to play Arclight Phoenix. It just gets blocked pretty easily here. Basically, I just want to draw Chain Whirlers, Fiery Cannonades, and not die to Tempest Gens. Oh, and I want lands. My buddy pre-ordered 30 of these at like $1.25. Feel like he got super lucky. They're already back down to like $3 or something, but he's going to get out at 4, I think. Someplace has them on their hot list for 4. They're paying more than retail. Kind of like blows my mind. Think this is a $2 to $3 card. I think I bought them on Moto for 60 cents. Now, I normally drink this here gallon water. Seems pretty decent. But I am out. All I have is an empty bottle. Whee! Let's make some noise with it. Oh, cool. Well, we don't have any lands. Of course, when you don't have lands, you have just 7 spells, your 7 spells are going to generally look amazing. Like, if we could start this hand with 10 cards and we had 3 lands of this, oh boy, would it look good. Oh, cool. Well, we get to mulligan again. Alright, now this hand looks horrendous. Certainly don't want that. Guess I don't need this anymore. We just put that on the bottom deco. How dare you give us another? Oh, we hit a Chain Whirler. It's a start. They just have Tempest Gen. We're pretty SOL. Hey, cool. They just had Tempest Gen. I think this gives us a better chance to win. To play this one and hopefully be able to play the Experimental Frenzy and go off. But no, we're just dead. We have to draw 2 spells now to deal with that, and he's going to have counter spells and dive downs, so there's just no chance that's ever going to happen. We're basically on 0%. We're as close to 0% to win this match now as you can be without actually being 0%. It wasn't even that hard for our opponent. We had a 1-turn window to draw one of our 2 lava coils, and we failed. We did mulligan to 5 though, and we had a heinous hand like... Well, at least we don't want that. Oh, and another 5-pointer? Alright, well. Looks like today is going to be a quick loss day. We won a game, though. I feel like there should be more lava coils in this sideboard. Like, we're not fast enough to really beat things like Rekindling Phoenix and stuff, in my opinion. So if we're not fast enough to beat those cards, we need some way to deal with them post-board. Like, this deck doesn't feel particularly fast, even though it's a burn deck. This deck feels like a deck that's always going to go to like turn 7 on average. That's a lot of turns for a Rekindling Phoenix to be in play. And we legitimately only have 8 burn spells in our main deck. Well, 10 if you count the 2 Banefires, but like Banefire isn't particularly good. I guess it deals with Rekindling Phoenix. You have like 4 mana Banefire and you have a 5th mana for a shock, but I mean... come on, Moto, what the hell? Stop moving this crap. So we'll play first. We'll keep it. Again, it's kind of weak. These Banefires don't seem very good with the amount of lands we have. But we have double Steamkin, so we're going to keep and just hope we hit our land. We have 2 draw steps to hit it. I think that's better than a random 6, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just not better than a random 6. This is our best card though, so with 2 of them in our hand, I didn't really want to mulligan it. Uh-oh. That's actually scary. If they're playing that, they're probably playing the or they're probably playing the Carrion build. And if they're playing the Carrion build, I don't want to just slam the other Runaway Steamkin. I want to play something that doesn't get swept up with a sweeper. Discard one of these Banefires since we don't have the lands for them anyway. Kinda sucks, but not the end of the world. It's better him syncopating that than our risk factor. So we need him not to get a white source here. No white source, that's good. Unless he's made changes to the deck, he can't beat this without a white source. Well, that's unfortunate. We can do some stuffs though. You can play it. He probably counterspells this. We can attack for 4 and then risk factor. Or we could just leave it at 4 so that a Carrion can't beat it. A Clarion or whatever, but like he could just have Teferi, and that's pretty good versus it, so I think I'd rather just go ahead and cast the risk factor. So we're trying to make a hard decision on this. That thing's getting closer and closer to flipping. Hurry up, opponent. It can't be that hard of a choice on a Surveil here. You see what's... maybe it was a hard choice. They just don't have the white source, so... So they go to 5 after the risk factor? Or they give us a land. Your choice, opponent. Of course they go to 5. Which means we get to draw cards for sure on the next one. Let's start with you. If you pump the Steamkin, you probably get counterspelled, but that's fine. Throw a shock at you as well. So now you're at 2. And if they did happen to have a removal spell or something here, we could have removed these 3 counters for the risk factor and put them at 1. And this would have probably killed them. Alright, well, that seemed to work out. So bring in the same cards we did before. Get rid of some of those. Let's get rid of some of these. Almost want to bring in the Chain Whirlers just for more things that can attack, but they don't actually have a lot of counter spells, so maybe taking out the Tormenting Voices is wrong. I'm just making an assumption that they're playing that deck. We don't know. So what we streamed yesterday, though, I advise you to look at my YouTube in 3 or 4 hours if you're wanting to see some people play the Jeskai pile. Go ahead and slam that. We have double Banefire. Gotta be careful because they do play 4 expansions and explosions, so they can like redirect burn spells at these and stuff. No blue mana this time? Well, happy days, says our Steamkin. You could easily still have the Deafening Clarion, or whatever it's called. Just gonna attack here and see what they do. Because if they use like a Seal Away, yeah. If they use a Seal Away, I want to play another Steamkin. If not, I want to play the Electrostatic Field. I didn't want to put both Steamkins on the battlefield at the same time, for the simple fact that if they had a Clarion, it was so punishing. I don't mind this. Hopefully they don't have a second Seal Away. And they do. Fun times for us. They don't have a land, though. These risk factors are pretty sweet unless they get syncopated. 5U? Question mark? Smiley face? That's not a syncopate. Risk Factor and Banefire doesn't actually play particularly well together. Because I like want my extra land drops, but just to fairy as soon as they have 5 mana, that's fine. I like how they got the 5 mana before us, even though they missed mana drops pretty early. Go ahead and get this out of my hand in case they do have syncopates later. And we're going to basically pray that we draw a land right now. Yeah, we did. We'll play around syncopate, I guess. And then negate will lightning strike. They fought long and hard about that. Makes me feel like they have at least a negate in their hand. Alright, well, to go now is just to draw land, and them not have Lyra. They are a 3 Lyra deck. No idea why we're sitting here waiting on them to make an action. To my knowledge, they don't even have an action they can make right now. Guess they could have made alterations to the deck, but... Go ahead and pop them here. Put some at 5, and if we draw a land, it's enough to win. That's not a land. Alright, well, it's probably better to use Risk Factor and discard that than to cast it. If I was going to Risk Factor, I might should have done it main phase. No, they had counterspell mana. Good card. Go ahead and smash this before they get done tap. Deals the damage no matter what. Land? It's not a land. Attack you. Is there any reason to really play this now? Just do it for 2, I guess? Like, if they don't have a counterspell, it wins, so... It's probably worth trying. Odds of them having a counterspell is pretty high, and we technically only ever need 1 of these. Have to see what they have. Ooh, they got rid of our homie. Guess I have to get rid of this too then. We're still just needing a land to win. If we lose this game, I'm going to be devastated. Oh, well, there's a land. We did it! We won a match. Technically 3-3 with this deck. 3-3 with some unfortunate draws in round 1. Don't know if we were a favorite Like, we might lose that game even if we get to play, but like, some mulligans to 5, some one land hands, like, to be 3-3 still feels pretty good. Next round. Thank you, Magic Online. Hey, MTG Max. I don't remember who he is, but I've talked to him before. On the draw, which isn't exciting with this deck. Who's got the rip? I rip so much better than them. Who is this person? Do not know who this person is. Told you I knew them. I think they stream. That's interesting. They shocked. So that means they have a shock? Question mark? I guess not. Whatever, I'm being greedy. I want to try to get counters on this Steamkin. Even though I assume this Steamkin's just dead. Radical Idea. We tried a Radical Idea counter burn deck once. Land, please. That's not a land. So now we have to do this to try to hit our land. Again, no land. It'd be nice to hit a third land in our top 11 cards, but that's okay. Top 12, top 13 now. Unless they close the game relatively quickly, I believe with our combination of Lightning Strikes and a million risk factors, we're probably going to be okay. They probably are a Crackling Drake deck, though, so I don't think I'm going to throw this Lightning Strike at them. Fight with Fire, they might not be the Crackling Drake deck. I think I'm just going to throw the Shock at them anyway. And we're going to hope to hit a land basically every draw the rest of the game now. That's not a land. Chemist. Nope, 5. So we're going to kill that, and then they're going to draw a bunch, so we're going to go ahead and do this too. They're down to 9. Again, we just want to draw like 3 lands in a row. Feel pretty confident winning this game if we draw 3 lands in a row. There's the Crackling Drake. Go ahead and cast this one first in case they have Spell Pierce. Two for one ourselves, but that ends the game way too quick. It's like a 4-turn clock, and we're going to need a minimum of 3 turns to find a way to win. Like a very minimum. Probably need more than that. Well, I guess the minimum's 2 turns. Like they just take 4 from risk factor. We draw land. But I'm talking about like realistic things, because that's like pretty specific. And they might not even take the 4 from risk factor. They could just counter it, which is what I think is more likely. Especially if they have a Syncopate in their hand. Looking for a land. I'm not going to cast that. We can use that with our other risk factor. Let's play the one out of our graveyard first, just in case they have Syncopate. Sure. Well, we're going to untap and we're we're just going to do it main phase now. Hopefully they don't have negate. I guess I'm taking 4 damage. No, I don't want to take the 4 damage, I don't think. I just gave them cards. Gonna give me more cards, I guess. Alright, well, we have some things going on now. Some of those things are double Banefire. Unfortunately, we have to worry about Expanse. Sorry. We want to play this one first because of the 2. He's targeting my thing. We will target his thing. Let's see if he wants to protect it with a counterspell. Either way, it goes down to 5 life here. We're doing this to try to prevent as much damage as we can. Oh, we failed immensely. So we're at 10. They're at 5. 2 expanses kills us. More than 2 expanses kills us now. Like, we're dead to most things now. Oh, that sucks. We were so far ahead that game. I don't know how we actually lost. I don't know what I did wrong this game. I was trying to play for a long game and play around everything, and then I just died. Legitimately don't know what I did wrong that game. I think I tried to play it too slow. But I felt so far ahead. He was missing lands and stuff. Maybe I'm supposed to just take the 4 damage and not give him 3 cards there, but like, my out to winning the game at that point is Banefires, and I'm afraid of him just using Expanses and burn spells on us. Alright, I'm going to keep this hand. And hope that they can't kill our Steamkin because we literally have nothing else going on here. Quite literally have nothing else going on. And the odds of them not being able to kill our Steamkin feel rather low. But maybe they don't. Maybe they just have like 2 guild gates, or maybe they didn't draw a burn spell, or who knows. Either way, I just want to play my mountain so I can pass. They even shocked for us that game. We drew another Lava Coil. There's only 2 in our deck, and it's probably the worst card in our deck in this match, but I thought we had to bring them in. And that's unfortunate. That is very likely game, as we have absolutely nothing else going on. We're going to lose to somebody who missed a land drop. Again, we have nothing going on. They have 8 spells. We effectively have no spells. Like, we have a shock. Who cares about a shock? Guess we care about a shock if they have a lava dart. There's no reason to even shock. That'd been nice to have in our hand last turn. Come on, risk factors. Not a risk factor. Guess we'll start throwing. I was kind of holding the shocks, hoping that we draw a gutter snap or 0-4 wall. Or even another Steamkin. I can't cast that right now, but I guess I'll throw the shocks at them at the end of turn now. I should have shocked them on my turn. That was a mistake. Throwing away a card for nothing here. A pretty large punt. Just kind of want to put a counter on it. The counter doesn't really do anything. But I'm really wanting to cast this Experimental Frenzy, so I put very little value into the Banefire in general. Cool thing is, if they hit a land this turn, they've missed 1,000 lands, yet now we have the same amount of lands. And they have an Azcanta, so I feel like this game's over. All they have to do is counterspell Experimental Frenzy and they win? Doesn't seem hard. We could draw some risk factors, maybe? And like tax their mana? Oh. Well, if they don't draw a second land here, this is actually really good for us. Because the Lava Coil would kill that, and then Experimental Frenzy would resolve. I think it was correct to not play our land even though it sucks like this, but if a land was on top of our deck in the end, it would have been pretty sad. Maybe we're supposed to play the land, actually. I think we're just supposed to play the land. Anyway, we're on a 3-turn clock, so we have to figure this out from here. I'll start with this. A card we can't play. Play our land. And what do you know? This is what Experimental Frenzies do every time I play them. This card is not as good as people make it out to be. Yesterday, when our opponent was getting 6 and 7 cards for like 3 turns in a row, it's just ridiculously unlucky. We've literally saw almost half the lands in our deck, and we're not going to get more than like 3 cards on a turn. And we're probably not going to get that, but anyway, we're dead now. They have counter spells, we're just dead. We got nothing out of all of ours. Now even a shot kills us. Now we're at 1. And we got 3 spells total and died. Experimental Frenzy, Not a good magic card. I don't care what anybody says. How many times do I have to cast it and we draw like that to realize it's not what everybody says it is? I'd rather had a blasting station that game. I think I would have won that game with a blasting station. I would have flipped the blasting station and it would have been relevant. I would have also been able to cast it much earlier in the game instead of trying to hold on to it. I would have had a Banefire. Hey, Max MTG. What is up, man? Good games. And thank you, Moto, for moving our thing. Starting to aggravate me. Alright, well, we'll keep. Hand's not great. But we have a cycler. If I've kept all of these, I'm going to keep this one too. We just need to hit a second land and our hand's like playable. We get 2 draw steps added. I think that's just better than a random 6. I'm going to lead with these because I don't think that our Steamkin will survive anyway. If I play this, I'm pretty confident it survives. If I choose for it to. Like, I can block and like try to waste her turn in a lightning strike, or I can just take 1 point of damage and then play the other. Like, I have options. No, well, it's a pretty easy block then. Our opponent only has 1 land. They're doing some of our secrets. We have another wall. Go walls. I'm almost being really slow again. I wonder if I'm just lagging. I don't think it's me because I can look at the time and see that I've spent 25 seconds even though I'm playing with 1 hand. And our opponent spent 1 minute and 30 seconds to play a land and 2 lava runners that can't even attack. Just don't want them to play another creature, so I don't think I care if they have a burn spell. I'm just going to block each. They can't kill both electrostatic fields, so good enough for me. They have to have a land and a lightning strike. They're not adding anything to the board. Fine with all of that. They could have a land and 2 shocks. It's the same principle, but that works too. Either way, I'm not that upset. We saved 5 points of damage that turn. And our opponent's still taking a long time. You just have to draw lands now. There's a land. So I get to make the play I want. Won't block this turn. Actually, I probably could block. If I blocked, odds of them killing this and this are low. They're probably going to kill one or the other. Opponent definitely needs more lands. Guess we'll take it. Goodbye, Steamkin. You'll be missed. I think I'm going to lose this game. They still have 5 cards in their hand, and we have 2 lightning strikes. They missed 2 points of damage, and I still think I'm going to lose this game. I'm so far behind now. That's a good one. I don't even know what I need to draw to catch up. This deals with this. I'm fine with that. Maybe I'm supposed to throw burn spells at these, but that doesn't feel particularly appealing. Whatever it is, our opponent's like, I'm playing on my cell phone now. Our opponent's still 4 minutes behind us while casting less spells. Maybe I'm supposed to just try to race, but I don't know if I can race these. I'm certainly going to block one next turn. These are worth 6 damage each, which is kind of cool, but he's still at 4 after all of that. He might not have another burn spell. He didn't kill the Guttersnipe. Now, killing the Guttersnipe seems like lunacy to me, so. If he attacks with all of these, he goes down to 2? Nah. Oh, cool. I want to deal my 12 to you. Come on, homie. Opponent's at 4. We're at 8. That's not good. Think I'm supposed to just block now? Could have attacked and put him at 2, but the only thing 2 does is like make shock skill. I don't think that's worth it. weird. Like I was blocking anyway, so why are you throwing them at my face there? Seem like they're just better to keep in that scenario then. But of course, you know, we have drawn 5 more lands than our opponents, which means he's drawn 5 more spells than us. He's not cast 5 more though. He's only cast 7 total. We've technically cast an extra spell. He needs 2 spells to beat us though? He didn't have it. And now we're at 3. I don't know why he keeps doing this stuff at sorcery speed. Like, he's not F6ing our turn or anything. If you're going to take the time to go for our turn, why don't you just play your spell? Well, get to draw 3 cards. Could be anything, even a boat. If it's everything bad, we get to draw 3 more cards to look for a shock. All we have is shocks and lightning strikes, though, so. Oh, well, we drew a shock. Hey, we win! Alright, what do we want versus the red decks? Probably want you, we probably want you, we probably want you, we probably want you. Probably want all of you as well. I keep taking out these tormented voices, and maybe that's where I'm going wrong. I feel like risk factor is not great here either, but I really don't think Firebrand's very good. This hand seems reasonable. This hand's a keep. Easy keep. Um. I want to pass. I'm not casting Steamkin here because it's too easy for them just to have Chain Whirler on 3. I would much rather be able to Lightning Strike their Chain Whirler than cast our Steamkin and then like use a Warlord's Fury to put a counter on it. Could have arguably just played our own Chain Whirler here, but maybe we can get value out of it at some other point in the game. Actually just want to kill their thing. Casting 2 spells is a fun way to do it. It also puts our Steamkin at 4 now. We keep our Lava Coil for a Rekeeling Phoenix, which is a more important threat. And now we have 7 power on the board. We are going to concede our opponent if it looks like the game's over. I'm not bothering to type it because they never pay attention anyway. Alright, so I think we get to do fun things this turn. Fun things are the best things. This can't attack, we have a first striker. So we have access to 7 mana, so we can play this and this, or this and this. Let's get us 3 mana here. Tap that, play Arclight. Get a counter back. Let's kill the blocker. Let's play a land, and then let's attack for 9. I think I'm going to concede before they have a chance to. And just chalk up this game as a win. He conceded. Well, never mind. I knew I should have conceded. Now I feel terrible. Whatever. Damn it. I knew I should have conceded. That actually aggravates me. Anyway. The deck didn't feel good. This feels like the worst burn build that we played so far, but like, I could have easily punted the game versus the blue-red deck, and I had some bad draws earlier in the league, so like maybe it's user error, but it at least felt less intuitive to me because it felt slower than the other builds. So like maybe I'm just playing it very poorly. I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, thank you guys for coming out. I highly appreciate it, and we're going to take off. Take care, everybody.